right, good evening. The April 17th, 2024 meeting of the San Mateo County Board of Education will come to order. As is our practice, this meeting will be recorded. The board provides remote access for members of the public and welcomes community members joining in person and remotely. The board is following the requirements of Assembly Bill 2449, which enables remote participation by board members only under specific circumstances. We use simultaneous interpretation in Spanish for those attending virtually through the end of public comment. Translation will continue further into the meeting if people are utilizing the channel. Thank you to our interpreter, Teresa Mendeville, for joining us remotely. For meeting attendees wishing to access the Spanish translation channel on Zoom, click on the interpretation button on the menu bar. We ask that all speakers be mindful of the Spanish interpretation and speak slowly and clearly. I ask board members to speak directly into the microphone and remind all speakers who are wearing masks to please remove their masks when speaking in order to be clearly heard by all attendees. Item 1B is the approval of our agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Is there a second? Thank you. There's a motion by trustee Gerard and a second by trustee Alvaro. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes with a vote of 7-0, and the agenda for tonight's meeting has been approved. Item 2 is public comment. Guidelines for public comment are available on the SMCOE website and in board docs, as well as on the table outside the boardroom in both English and Spanish. If there are speakers who require Spanish interpretation, our interpreter, Ms. Mendeville, will interpret following each speaker's comments. At this time, members of the public may provide comment or topics not included on the approved agenda. The County Board of Education does not act upon any matter that has not been agendized except under limited circumstances as permitted by law. It is the policy of the County Board to refer matters raised in this forum to the superintendent for investigation and/or action where appropriate. Superintendent McGee, do we have any comments submitted prior to the meeting?
We do not.
Thank you. Speakers are invited to make live comment and have 3 minutes to speak. The board's executive assistant, Jennifer Perna, will keep the time and advise when the speaker has 30 seconds left. Please keep within the time limits. To make a comment over Zoom, members of the public may use the raised hand feature. Instructions for using this feature are provided as an attachment in the board packet. Once the hand is raised, please wait to be acknowledged by Superintendent McGee. Superintendent McGee, are there any members of the public attending remotely who wish to make a comment?
I am not seeing any hands.
Thank you. Members of the public may also provide live comment in person. Superintendent McGee, are there any cards submitted for in-person comment?
No, we have no cards.
Okay, thank you. Public comment addressing specific agenda items will be heard immediately before the board takes them up. If members of the public wish to speak to a specific agenda item, please use the raised hand feature when the item is announced, or if in person, submit a card in advance of the item. All right. Item 3A is the April 2024 Employee of the Month. The District Business Services Fiscal Support Team, L. Marie Cantler, Senior Accounting Assistant, Business Services Division, Lucas Fry, Accountant, Business Services Division, and A. Mon, Accounting Technician, Business Services Division, are our employees of the month. Will L. Marie, Lucas, and A please join me in the middle of the room? Welcome, thank you. All right, each month, the board and the superintendent recognize an employee for providing outstanding service. For the month of April, we recognize an amazing team of 3 employees in the district business services department. Marie Cantler, senior accounting assistant, Lucas Fry, accountant, and A. Mon, accounting technician. This trio is also known as the fiscal support team. Marie, Lucas, and A process all incoming cash for the county's 23 school districts, 13 charter schools, and the county office. They make sure all checks submitted to the county office are processed properly and efficiently on a daily basis. As a team, they quickly and accurately enter and process all incoming apportionments from the state in both the County of San Mateo's and the county office's financial systems, giving districts and the county office staff access to the incoming revenue as soon as it is available. Since mistakes can create stress and challenges, as many of the checks would be difficult to reissue and could cause programs financial challenges, the team is careful in their work. Marie, Lucas, and A also work closely with the County of San Mateo to ensure the county office is meeting its deposit and banking deadlines on a daily basis. If the printers are down or slow, the team will stay late to ensure their work is completed. They will also happily fill in when other departments are short-staffed or have an urgent need. San Mateo County school districts often share how much they appreciate each member of the team and their outstanding work behind the scenes. The team puts equity and excellence into action every day, making sure school districts have what they need to serve the educational needs of all students. We are proud of our County Office of Education staff and are pleased to recognize Marie, Lucas, and A for their outstanding work. Congratulations to the fiscal support team for being named Employees of the Month as a team for April 2024. Marie, Lucas, and A, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you all for the recognition. It's very nice. I just want to say that, as a team member in BSD, I've been there, longer, but they both came at the same time out 2 years ago. But it feels like they've been here far longer than that, and that's testament to them, knowing the procedures, and especially when they're the first ones to see the mail come in and sort everything and kind of they can, they've immediately recognize when things are inconsistent, and so it makes my job easier. And then also with Doris, the way she's organized our department to make it very clear and smooth. So we can just focus on solving issues and making everything else more streamlined. So they have both Marie and A have plenty of capacity to learn more in school business in general. It also shows that not only with the technical competence, but also emotional intelligence, because like you were mentioning, there's no real stress. So it's so it's maybe too good. It's almost like this is water. So like what must be, so it was very nice. Would you like to say anything?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amon. I was at the private company before joining the SMCOE. So I didn't have any experience about school business before. I have learned a lot about the school business, and I gained a lot of knowledge under our director, Doris, supervision and guidance. Thank you so much, Doris, for everything you have done for us. I also would like to say thank you to our manager, Faith, Rosalie, and Ellen, also my team. My team is really supportive. I would not have been recognized employee of the month without their support. I love my team. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, they basically said most of the stuff, but One most important thing I just want to say is very thank you. Like, I appreciate this acknowledgement of all of our hard work, and I'm just so proud to be in an amazing team. I'm also incredibly thankful for like the support from my family, the DBS team, all my managers, especially my direct manager, Doris. All of you like encourage me to strive in this position and like are really great guiding lights to my career development and growth. So thank you so much for being part of my journey here at SMCOE.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. And we also have these gifts for you. They have your names on them. So congratulations again. That is always the best part of our meeting. All right. See, what do we have up next? For item 4A is our minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the April 3rd, 2024 regular board meeting as presented?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by trustee Gerard and a second by trustee Alvaro. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes 7-0. Item 5 is our consent agenda. The consent agenda is not debatable and requires a unanimous vote for passage. An item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular order of business for separate discussion and action if any board member, the superintendent, or member of the public so requests. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Lemper and a second by trustee Gerard. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. The motion passes with a vote of 7-0 and our consent agenda has been approved. All right, for item 6A, Jeff Schmidt, Coordinator, District Improvement and Support, will introduce Latrice Bennett, Head of School, Oxford Day Academy, and Anderson Ortiz Perez, a graduating senior, to provide the annual report from ODA. Coordinator Schmidt.
Thank you so much. It is my great honor to introduce the head of school for Oxford Day Academy, Latrice Bennett, and she has a student representative here tonight to share her annual report to the board. So thank you for having us tonight. Ms. Bennett.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Board President Benini, members of the board, Superintendent McGee. It's lovely to see you all during our annual rendezvous. So yeah, we'll just be going over the year in review for Oxford Day Academy as we do every year. And if you have any questions, you know, we're here to answer them. So, thank you. Oh, and my lovely, this is so fancy, my lovely remote. Hey. I know, literally. Clicked it. Here we go. All right. So our 2023-24 focus areas for this year, we were looking at our satellite data versus our street data and being able to, you know, look at the narrative of what one says about our school versus the other and how we can try to merge those together to really create a whole picture of what Oxford Day Academy offers to its surrounding students in the community. Another focus area was our EL attendance and truancy. So looking at our 3 E's initiative, which is really just a solution to the attendance and truancy trends that we started to see with some of our subgroups in our EL category or bilingual in progress, as we like to call our students. Another focus area was just continued academic intervention for all of our students as they're coming in for grades 9 and 10, just actually targeted specific continued academic intervention for math and ELA. And then developing highly qualified teachers, building within versus recruiting out. And so our CTC with Reach pathway, and this is just really important for us because our model is so specific. The instructional model is just very specific to our school. I don't know of many other places that are instructing the way that we do. And so it is more beneficial for us to be able to build our teachers than to recruit out. And so we've put a lot of time and money and efforts into taking classified, employees, getting them credentialed, or taking very new graduate students that want to learn a different way of instruction and providing the credentialing process for them, removing the economic strain of can I pay for more school? We all know how expensive that is. And so we've been able to take some of, our allocations and put it toward making sure that we're actually building highly qualified teachers and staff members. So those are our 4 focus areas of the 23-24 school year. All right, so our satellite data versus our street data. So our state data tells a very different story than our street data. Let's just say that. We are working from a baseline this year. And I remember last year talking to you all about the risk that we are, not necessarily risk, but the exchange that we're willing to have because we don't turn students away. Our newcomer population, it increases every year. And it hits about 10th, 11th grade, right around the time of state testing. And so because we think that our instructional model is so unique and it is so helpful for newcomers, we don't turn them away. And so we understand that what that entails with the bigger picture of what that will impact or how that will impact some of our state data. And so we're just continuing to try to find solutions to kind of balance out, what we see in our satellite data. And so, yes, so the area of focus for us moving into 24-25 is going to be increasing student performance in ELA and math, figuring out how to do that even with our incoming students that we do receive, just looking at what does intervention and robust intervention look like for an incoming 10th grader that doesn't have much English acquisition or may have low math skills. What does it look like when they're coming in beginning of 11th grade? And how do we provide that intervention to get them somewhere along the path of proficiency by the time that they graduate from us? And then what the street data tells us is that the economic need continues to impact the academic progress. And so again, we've been brainstorming about how we can try and meet the economic need of our newcomer population. Our street data and our observations tell us that students come in to the country and they're forced to find work very quickly to pay off debts. And oftentimes it is their guardians that may not be an actual parent that are forcing them to actually stop schooling and go in to find full-time work. And these are 15, 16-year-old students. And so this is what our street data is telling us. And we're taking both the satellite and street and trying to figure out what's the solution there so that we can meet the economic need as well as see some academic progress. We are open to solutions and thoughts. Driving question for 24-25 again. So it's going to be how can we effectively address economic need while ensuring that students are making academic progress? So we just kind of, again, took both of the data points from both the street and satellite and said, okay, now what do we do with this? This is going to be our driving question for 24-25. Our newcomer attendance and truancy. So speaking more specifically to what we're seeing, the 22-23 data highlighted newcomer truancy trends. And so then 23-24, we made a plan. It was really harass guardians and parents and make sure that students are coming to school every day to the best of our ability. And we did see an increase from last year. So it was about, I can't read that, it's so small. From 28 thank you, percent of the decrease. So we had the trend was very present and we were like, okay, how do we get students back into school? And again, this is like a subgroup of our students in our ELs population. And then it did increase to about 50%, or 28% it decreased. And so right, so the decrease in truancy so it's down to 28%. And so we obviously want to keep decreasing that number. And so we will find, I think, more sustainable ways to get students back into school. We still, again, understand the economic strain that this population is dealing with, but trying to find solutions so that they are able to pursue their own academic pursuits, which we believe they came to the country to find. And we understand that that's kind of being blocked by, parents or other guardians' intent for them while they're here. And so the 23-24 graduation ratio or rate is impacted also by this truancy. And so it's another trend that we saw with our graduating seniors this year. A lot of this cohort had some gaps in their schooling due to having to pay off debts from when they enter the country, having to stop and work to support family. And so we do see that a little bit impacted by our graduation rate this year, which is normally pretty high in the 90s. And then again, so we'll be applying for grants and funding for our 3Es initiative, which really just looks to figure out how we can meet the economic need of students so that they can attend fully engage and have college and career options by the time that they leave us. 12th grade. Our continued academic intervention. So our 4-tier curriculum package. So again, we've got the grade level and then we go to modified 2, modified 1, and then grade level again being the medium and then advanced. And so how do we essentially provide access to all student learner groups within our curriculum and content? And so we've tiered out a system that we believe really gives more access to all kind of learners, including our newcomers, our special education population, and then also not forgetting the students that are a little more advanced and need more of a challenge. And so I think sometimes intervention, we go straight to the kids that are struggling and we kind of forget the ones that are kind of hanging out bored. And so our 4-tier curriculum packet actually allows us to make sure that we have eyes on every kind of learner, wherever their levels may be. Our curriculum is still Common Core, NGSS aligned course, ongoing response intervention efforts for math in grades 9 and 10, ongoing ELD efforts, and equitable access to curriculum and content for all learner groups. So these are things that we just continue to strengthen year after year. Okay. Developing highly qualified teachers, building within versus recruiting out. So again, we've partnered with Reach and we've been sending our teachers through the credentialing pathway and making sure that our teachers are receiving targeted support to become the best teachers that they can become within our instructional model. And we have one graduating teacher this year that will be credentialed. And so we're super excited about that. And we have 2 classified staff members that are on a pathway to receive their bachelor's that are working with us. And then we have 3 teachers that are in the credentialing that are going to be enrolled in the credentialing this spring actually. And so the pathway is live and well, and there's different paths. So whether you're coming from classified, going to credentialed or to certified, or jumping in at just the credentialing portion, we've created the pathways to support all of our staff to become highly qualified. We're very excited. And this is just the continued extracurricular offerings that we offer to our students. Soccer, volleyball, track and field, speech and debate, Spanish debate, which is, again, one of those access points for some of our newcomer students that come and are ready to just academically jump into our programming, Spanish debate is a really nice spot to put them because they are able to just debate in their home language. Moot court and internships. Speech and debate has become really popular this year. I'm really excited about it. I'm the debate coach, so I actually finished as a finalist for Coach of the Year for our debate league, our national debate league. I did not win, which is okay. But yeah, we're just super happy that our students are engaging in the extracurricular offerings. We know how important that is for college acceptance. Everybody's getting A's these days, so students need a little more when they're applying to colleges, and we really believe that our continued efforts to make sure that we're offering a holistic and a well-rounded school programming for our students is beneficial for their post-secondary options. Our continued community partnership and engagement. So these are just some of the communities and partnerships that we are continuing to engage with. So our COP with neighboring high schools to really make sure that all of our students have a post-secondary option, whether that's 2-year, 4-year, career. Another blockage we highlighted was the fact that a lot of the career options require social security numbers. And so we've been trying to figure out how to still get our undocumented students into some type of career pathway if that's what they want, without being hindered from being undocumented. So we're continuing to work with our community of practice with the neighboring high schools to figure that out. And our plan is that by 2025, all students 100% leave with a post-secondary plan, whether that be career, 2-year, or 4-year. Continuing partnerships with Kenyatta College for our dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment. So students are able to take as many college courses as they like. And then we have some classes that are dual enrolled. Continuing partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula. Continuing partnerships with Silicon Valley Urban Debate League, and that's with debate. They've been so gracious working with us. We advocated for bilingual judges so that our students could present and debate and compete in their most comfortable language, still going through the whole, the skills and technicalities of debate. And they've been really great, and it really did provide access to our students to be able to engage in otherwise, kind of exclusive extracurricular activities. And so we're really happy about that. And then continued partnership with Stanford University, Youth United for Community Action, Canopy, and Epicenter. Okay, so a little bit about some street data highlight, which is what we like to call it. I've brought a student, a graduating senior, to kind of speak to his experience about Oxford Day Academy, Anderson Ortiz Perez. He is the 2024 Youth of the Year winner for East Palo Alto and then the Peninsula, I believe. So he won both of them. I'll just say that. He's graduating with a 4.2 GPA, if not higher. He has a 4.0 college GPA already as well. He's been admitted to 14 out of 15 of his colleges. He is the first ODA valedictorian that will be graduating as a newcomer. He's 5 years in the country. He is also a Launch Institute student lead. So some of you may recognize his face if you attended last summer. And he's a future kinesiologist. So I'm just going to introduce Anderson to kind of talk for a minute or two about your experience, and then he'll go through the next 2 slides. All right. Just click this very lightly. I think that's what's happening. It's clicking it too hard.
Which one is
Good evening, President of the Board, Bonini, members of the board, Superintendent McGee. My name is Anderson Ortiz, and I'm here just to talk about a little bit about my experience in Oxford Day Academy. Well, my experience at Oxford Day Academy has been amazing. The only word that can come to my mind when it mentioned ODA is just family. I'll say everything is just about family. Everything is just feels so familiar. The environment feels amazing. The relationship with the teachers, the relationship with the students, the relationship with the community, it's actually stronger at Oxford Day Academy. So it's just my experience in the last 4 years that I've been attending to Oxford Day Academy has been amazing. When I went to middle school, I just came from El Salvador and I was 13 years old. I was scared. I didn't know what to do, to be honest, with my life. I came here because my dad brought me, and I was like, Dad, you know what? I just want to come back to El Salvador. Because in middle school, I didn't feel like I was belonging here. So I was really scared about my future. I think that's one of the things that always has scared me. Not anymore. Now I feel like I'm ready for the next step, and I'm so excited for it. But Oxford Day Academy was one of the things and one of the schools and one of the blessings that God has put in my life. And it's just amazing to see all my achievements coming true and all my dreams coming true in about 5 years. It's been amazing to feel the environment at school. It feels incredible, to be honest, to be around people just like Latrice Bennett. It's just amazing. It's just amazing getting to know everyone and getting to know my community, getting to know where I belong and getting to know my culture. It's amazing. And that's what Oxford is. I feel like Oxford is a family. It's my second home if it's not my first one. And that has been my experience at Oxford Day Academy. I'm gonna go to the next slide. And it's about the ODA class of 2024. Yeah, I can see it. So first, we have on track to graduate. 86% of our senior class is on track to graduate, and I'm one of them. It's amazing seeing all of them growing up. We've been growing up together at school, and it's always the same. It's always the same students going through everything. And it's just, like I said, it feels like a family. I feel like they're my brothers in everything, even sportly, academically, everything, emotionally. I know I can be with them every single day. Also, the newcomers, I'm part of the newcomer students. 30% of ODA graduating seniors are newcomers. There was a group of students that went to ODA in the freshman year, and I was part of them. There was like 15 students that came from the same middle school that we didn't know anything about the language. And we thought that it was gonna be hard for us, but then we just found a family, and it was amazing. And nowadays, it's great seeing them achieving their goals and also helping me to achieve mine. Also, first generation college bound, 97% of ODA seniors are first generation college bound, and that's amazing. Seeing them fighting against everything because they're the first ones, it's amazing. I'm part of them too, and it just feels great. The student demographics, 99% of seniors identify as Latinos and 1% identify as African American. I'm gonna talk about the 1%. They're one of my best friends. And it's just amazing seeing different cultures, and getting to know about different people. And we all feel the same thing, and it's love. And I think that's something so interesting that happens in the United States. And it's how cultures can bound together and can also be connected by the word love. Also, the post-secondary options, 86% of ODA graduating seniors have 2-year post-secondary options. 62% of ODA graduating seniors apply to 4-year colleges. 100% have been accepted with at least 2 college options. That's just amazing. This specifically season of acceptances at colleges has been great. It's been so dramatic at school because everyone is waiting. Everyone is just like, I don't know if I'm gonna get into this. I don't know if I'm gonna get into there. And it's just amazing seeing how everyone is supporting everyone. And that's what family really is, supporting. And then these are some colleges that we've been getting accepted to. I'm proud to announce that I've been accepted to UC Berkeley. It was one of my top choices. And I'm so happy about that. And I want to thank Latrice because she's part of it. The school is part of it. And also, that's a dream. I came here when I was 13 years old. And when I was 14, I realized that I was around one of the best universities in the United States. And I told Latrice when we went to a college tour, I was like, I want to get into Berkeley. And she was like, you're going to make it. And now I made it. And it was just amazing seeing her so happy about me. And I thank God firstly because he's the only one who has been with me and in my life with my family and everything. And I want to thank all of them in this moment. And that's about it. Mhm.
You can ask Anderson questions after I finish blabbing for the next minute. Yeah, I have to collect myself again. So that's Anderson, everyone. So if you haven't met him, now you know him and probably never forget him, because we won't. Increase, so these are the 23-24 highlighted celebrations. So increase extracurricular engagement by our students, our new facilities. And so we are actually in a new campus, graciously given to us by Sequoia Unified. ODA teacher pathway is strong and pumping through some teachers and classified staff. Our increase in newcomer attendance, so decreasing the truancy, increasing their attendance, and then strengthen enrollment and recruitment efforts. So we are seeing more stable enrollment for our incoming freshmen for next year, which is, I'm sure if you've all been in schools before, enrollment is always just the thing that, you know, is hanging over your head. So we are just very excited about our recruitment efforts this year, some of our long-term recruitment efforts that are starting to bear a little fruit. And so, yeah, we're excited to see what the summer and the fall entails. And then, so our highlighted opportunities for 23-24, our satellite data, of course, versus our street data again. So blending the two narratives to tell the whole story of Oxford Day Academy while also tending to some of the trends we're seeing by both the satellite and street data. Our EL attendance and truancy continuing to decrease that truancy percentage, strengthening our operational and administrative systems, and then developing highly qualified teachers is what we're going to continue to highlight going into 24-25. So this is just the highlighted opportunities that we'll focus on in 24-25. And I believe that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention, and we'll take questions at this time. They might have questions for you, so you can stand up here.
Thank you both for the presentation very much. Does the board have any questions or comments? Trustee Cannon.
So, Latrice, I'm sorry to be so ignorant of your new facilities. Tell me a little bit more about your new facilities. I remember last year when we visited, you were kind of in different places out there. And what do you have now?
Sure. So we are still a split campus.
Pardon me?
And so it's funny because we did a SoCal college tour during spring break last week, and they had to haul themselves from one end of a large campus to the other. And I was like, you see, split campuses, this is not unique to us. But yeah, so we're a split campus. We're on Green Street now, which is literally just around the corner from our Beach Street Campus B. And so we are now in the Sequoia Union adult education facilities on Green Street. And so we did apply through Prop 39 for facilities just because our needs were increasing and they weren't being met at the main campus that we were previously at last year. And so now instead of walking across the street to Campus B, the students just walk down the street and around the corner from Campus B to A.
It's a better situation.
Yeah, I think so. Better situation. Yeah. Yeah. The kids kind of gripe about the walk, but again, I was like, you see, they're fine. But yeah, so we're a split campus. Yeah.
And if you would allow me, I'd like to ask Anderson a couple of questions.
Sure.
First of all, I was going to ask you, how did you decide on your college or university? But you told us a little bit about that. Huh? You had UC Berkeley in mind all the time?
Yeah, I had UC Berkeley in mind since I came here because I was like, I want to go to college. And I told Ms. Bennett on one of the college stores, she took us to UC Berkeley, and I was like, this is going to be my university. I want to go there. And then she was like, yeah, I think you can make it. You can make it. And then I applied there not knowing that I was going to get accepted. And then when I get accepted, I called her and I was like, I got rejected. And
That's the picture there when I'm going like that.
I told her that I got rejected. And then I was like, and she asked me, what does the letter say? And said, congratulations, you've been accepted to Berkeley. And she was so happy. So now I'm ready. I'm ready to make my decision. and I'm ready to take my next steps at UC Berkeley.
Great. And Anderson, I'm just in awe of your English. We don't have a half an hour. You probably have a lot to tell us, but what did you do to have such not only wonderful pronunciation, but the cadence and the intonation is just great.
Thank you. Thank you. No, and I just feel like the confidence of having person such a Latrice Bennett next to me is just amazing because I've been communicating with her since I didn't know any English, and that helped me a lot. And all the staff at school, it's like that. You can go to them and you can talk to them in English, and they'll be like, they're helping you with your pronunciation and everything. And I think that really helped me a lot.
He's
Well,
also an
it-
impromptu first place champion in our debate league, so, you know, I think that's where the confidence.
Congratulations, great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Trustee Limpert.
Just want to congratulate you on all the success for the school. But congrats to you. I have a question for you. And you don't have to answer this right on the spot if you want to just send us some information later. But I think one of the responsibilities of a high performing charter is to share what you're able to do with the flexibility that Sequoia, Woodside, Meadow Atherton, Carlmont, other schools could learn from and emulate. So I'm curious either now, if you want to share with us, what are some things that you're able to do that you've learned that you'd like to share with traditional schools to maybe help them do better?
Sure. I mean, the flexibility really affords us to really have a whole student approach to learning. And our instructional model is so unique that I couldn't go to a public school and force teachers to, I'd have the union down my back. Like it wouldn't work. But our instructional model is so unique. It really helps students to find academic pursuit on their own, to become experts in what they want to know, because they become collaborators with us. And so we've kind of flipped the power on its head a little bit, and it really is just this collaboration of learning between teachers and students and our tutorial method, as well as like peer-to-peer through a lot of the tasks that they have to complete together. And so I'd say the main thing is our instructional model. The flexibility affords us to kind of play with how we deliver instruction, what we think about how a student should be learning, and developing some of those soft skills that are a little harder to develop through our instructional model as well, like keeping a schedule, making sure you're, where you're supposed to be when you set it, executive functioning skills that most teachers don't have time to teach, when they got to get through content. And so we really structurally looked at instruction and said, okay, let's make these changes and do this. And I think that's one of the bigger highlights for the flexibility. And again, with the whole child approach, just being able to build those one-on-one relationships. I really do believe that every student has a person at the school that they can go to. And that was really important for us.
Latrice, can you speak into the
sorry.
microphone?
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you. That would be so
Yeah.
helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, so every student does have a person at the school that they can go to. And students know that they can come and have any kind of need met. And sometimes saying like, okay, let's hold the academics. How are you doing? And I think when students understand that you really care about them, and we've been able to just be responsible with that trust and coach them. We just feel it more like academic coaches than teachers. And so, yeah, I'd say that's what the flexibility of being a charter has afforded us, to really look at the structures of education and kind of flip them on their head and say like, okay, how do we get students to engage and care about their learning and like what happens after high school? Yeah.
Great. Are there any other, excuse me, Trustee Camacho?
Thank you so much for that presentation. My question is about from the financial aspect. So I know when charter schools first start, philanthropy plays a part in that. Is philanthropy still a part of your financial model right now, or how does that work?
Trying to get it to be more of a part of our financial model right now. It's not so much anymore, as we all know that, most philanthropists love the new school, so stages 0 through 3, they're like, yeah, we'll give you money. And then once it's running and we still need the money, it kind of dries up. So we are looking to find. So yeah, I mentioned in the presentation that we will be, going for some grants and looking to, get more of that funding through the philanthropy.
And I know of Prop 39, but does that mean that you all don't have to pay rent? Is that what that means? I'm not. sure
No,
how
it
that
just
works.
means that they provide us the district building at a percentage of whatever
Oh,
our.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
else
thank
get
you.
that. Yeah.
Trustee Torres.
I'm so excited that you were here today. I also loved visiting last year, so hopefully we get to check out that new facility soon. I did have a clarifying question about the truancy. Is that for all students or just EL students?
Just else.
Okay, good. And then I hope to see Anderson in 4 years again. And yeah, both of you did an incredible job. Thank you.
Right. And Trustee Alvaro.
Thank you. Thank you for that report, Latrice. You're amazing. And you, young man, I mean, you're the reason we do what we do, right? End of discussion. So my question for you, Ms. Bennett, is a lot of times when students come to high school level, let's call it that, 9th grade level, they've had a history of not doing really well. And one of the big obstacles that you need to overcome with those kids is to give them the belief that they're going to be doing well. And I wonder if there's any, I mean, obviously you have students like Anderson who come and going, yeah, I'm fine, right? You knew you were going to be fine and you just needed a little bit of push. How do you help students who come in saying, look, I've always failed, I'm a failure, don't even bother?
Yeah. So it's our belief that every student can be and do whatever they want. They just need the relationship and trust of an adult to tell them that they believe in them as well and to get them to believe in themselves. No kid just wants to not believe in themselves. And so, so we have social emotional learning coaches that every student has according to their grade cohort that they meet with regularly, check in with and say, what are your options? What do you want to do? Let's start from where you are and see how we get you to where you want to be. Our instructional model in and of itself really pushes students out of their comfort zone. Our students from grade 9 are immersed in oral like just oratory performance and, oration and giving presentations and finding the confidence in their own voice. We let students choose, we show them how valuable their choice is and making good choices. And when they don't make good choices, we coach them through how to make a better choice next time. But we really highlight for students how powerful their voice is. And I think that helps to start to change their beliefs about themselves, because typically they don't go to school and, schools are saying, hey, like your opinion really matters. What do you think about this? And that is just a normal day at our school. And students, sometimes they will tell you everything they think and it's great. But yeah, they really learn to, honor their own voice, find confidence in it and value in it. And so I think that lends very well to the students that we do come that have very low self-esteem or belief about what they can do. And we see it increase pretty early on within like the 9th grade year. Yeah.
Well, I look even at just the data of how many schools they apply to and that they had the confidence to do that.
Mhm.
Because, a lot of 9th graders, regardless of their economic circumstances, if you tell them you're going to be able to go to a 4-year college of your choice, they're going to go, I don't think so. So, and then you're dealing with students who've got a few other steps back behind them that they've got to catch up with. So it really shows that what you're doing is not just academics at all. What you're really doing is building the entire human being and sending them out in the world. And no pressure, Anderson, but we expect great things from you. Thank you.
No pressure. It's fine.
Monica. Trustee Gerard.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say congratulations. How exciting. I know that I've made, I guess, 3 visits to the academy, and it's so exciting to see how all of you work so hard and really help each other and support each other. It's amazing. And I know that there's adjustments all the time. And the last time I was there, I said, oh, it's been a while since they wore uniforms. And everybody said, oh, yeah, we didn't like that. So they changed, but congratulations. And I know that you have to be supporting your fellow students as well to be voted Student of the Year. So that's just so exciting. And to Oxford Day Academy, it's very exciting to see how it grows and develops because it was, I believe, a 2-year school. Am I right, Susan, when we first? Yeah. So it's growing to now 4. And I'm wondering, as students come in at different levels, is there a larger number of students coming in as new first-year students than students that are joining in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th year?
It's about, so the incoming first year is a little higher than the transfer. But we do get a pretty steady percentage of transfer students about 10th grade or first semester 11th grade.
It's because I was surprised to see how many come in the 4th year. Do they come in so that they can graduate? Is that why they're there?
No, we don't really take too many 4th year. So we don't really take too many seniors that are, senior status coming into the school. We have to do like a pretty heavy look into their transcript to make sure that they are on track to graduate. Because sometimes it's been misconstrued that we are a continuation school and we're not. And so we have to say, oh, you are very deficient. Sorry. No, we can't take you. That's the only time we turn students away. But yeah, so we usually get the transfers either 10th grade or first semester junior year. And even first semester junior year, we also take inventory of the transcript to make sure that they're still on track to graduate. And if they want college options, like what we'll have to do to like make sure that they have those by the time they're senior.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you both so much. Congratulations, Anderson. It's amazing, your accomplishments, and it's just exciting to hear all the progress. And even with the things that, you're working on, it seems like it's just a plan to do more of that. So I really appreciate that and appreciate the report. Do we have any comments from the public? The next question, since we've all asked our questions.
I don't think that we do.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. There's no action to take on this item, but we're grateful for your presentation.
For
Have a
your
good
time
night.
and attention.
Okay. Item 7A is the public hearing on the initial proposal from San Mateo County Educators Association, SMCEA, to the San Mateo County Superintendent of Schools for the 2024-2025 successor collective bargaining agreement. And the public hearing is now open. Would anyone like to speak on this issue? Okay, the hearing is now closed. All right, on to item 7B is the public hearing on the initial proposal from the San Mateo County Superintendent of Schools to SMCEA for the 2024-2025 successor collective bargaining agreement. Hearing is now open. Would anyone like to speak on the issue? Excuse me. Okay. I see none. The hearing is now closed. All right. For item 7C, Kevin Bultema, Deputy Superintendent, Business Services Division, and Tammy Moore, Associate Superintendent, Human Resources, will present the public disclosure of the collective bargaining agreement between the San Mateo County Superintendent of Schools and the California School Employees Association, CSCA, and its Chapter 789 for 2023-2024. Deputy Superintendent Ultima and Associate Superintendent Moore. Welcome.
Good evening, Board President Bonini, members of the board, and Superintendent McGee. I'm pleased to share with you that the San Mateo County Office of Education has concluded the reopener contract negotiations with CSEA Chapter 789 for the 2023-2024 school year. And Deputy Superintendent Bultema will present to you the information required for the public disclosure.
Thank you.
Total estimated cost for this proposal is $458,141. It includes a 6% salary increase effective to July 1. And it also includes a bifurcation of the allocation for health and welfare benefits for individual and individual plus one, increasing those amounts to $1,300 per month effective January 1 for an individual, and $1,550 per month for an employee plus one. So with that.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the board? See any? Are there any comments from the public? Okay. Okay, thank you very much. There is no action to take on this item. All right, and then item 7D is superintendent comments. Superintendent McGee, do you have comments to share?
Very brief tonight. I just want to start with, obviously, congratulations to Anderson on all his accomplishments. What a stellar example of what we want our education system to look like when students are graduating from high school. We know that when we surround our students with caring relationships, high expectations, and support, and meaningful engagement, they will succeed. It's an amazing testimony to the leadership of Director Latrice Bennett, for whom I have great admiration and respect. And our SMCOE team is committed to provide whatever support we can to add to the ODA, the ongoing ODA success story. Last week, Patricia Love and I enjoyed a visit to San Mateo Union High School District with Superintendent Booker. We were able to observe a biotech class at San Mateo High School, and I honestly was blown away by the lab classroom that they had. And first of all, it was gigantic. Secondly, they're cloning, doing cloning of plants and separating out DNA. And I'm like, oh, were you doing this to the teacher? Were you doing this in high school? So it was really quite an exceptional curriculum program. And the teachers were really very passionate when they were talking about it. We also spent time at the Bridge program, which is a small school environment for newcomers in the district. They have about 80 students. Again, very reflective of the resiliency model with caring relationships, high expectations and support, and meaningful engagement for those students. I think San Mateo Union is really working on investing lots of energy into that program. The students, again, were articulate, engaged in their learning, and really connecting with each other. We then went over to Peninsula High School, and I actually had never been in the new on the new campus. So walked through that campus, met some teachers and some students, and we talked about their program. We learned a lot about the priorities that are being set by Superintendent Booker, and we discussed the challenges and successes around those priorities and how we can both be a learner with them and a partner in supporting them meet those goals. I just came back today, got back today about 5:30 from the quarterly meeting of the county superintendents. We were in Santa Barbara. I was for 3 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for meetings. And this morning, as a member of the FICMAT board, I attended the FICMAT board meeting, which took most of the morning from about 9 till noon. But it's a powerful opportunity to learn new things, gain broad perspective, and connect with colleagues across the state. Especially being on the FICMAT board, you really get a very clear view of how our schools are doing financially across the state. Things are trending very much in the right direction in that way. So that feels good, but there's also this talk about what's coming around the corner financially for schools. So learned a lot, and I appreciate those opportunities. Finally, I want to put on your radar that the county office will be participating in the 2024 San Mateo County Pride Parade on the morning of June 8th. And we hope to have a great showing of staff with their families and friends. We're going to have t-shirts, and we extend a warm invitation to board members to join us for this is only the second year of the Pride Parade in San Mateo County, and it'll be the first year that we're participating as an organization. So it's our inaugural event, and we're excited about that. And that concludes my comments for tonight.
Thank you. Okay. For item 8, the board will move into closed session. For items 8A and 8B, the board will hear 2 interdistrict attendance appeals. The first is IAA 24-2, filed on behalf of a student currently residing in the La Honda Pescadero Unified School District, but requesting to attend school in the Woodside School District. The second is IAA 24-3, filed on behalf of a student requesting a transfer out of the Millbrae Elementary School District. After hearing both IAAs, the board will move to item 8C, conference with legal counsel, initiation of litigation pursuant to section 54956.9C, 1 case. Upon conclusion of all closed session items, the board will return to open session to report on any actions taken in closed session. Jeff Schmidt, Coordinator, District Improvement and Support, will now, that's where we start. Introduce the item. Okay, are you good? I can't believe that. All right, we are returning. We're now back in open session. For item 9, the board will report on actions taken in closed session. For IAA 24-2, the board voted to deny the appeal by a vote of 5-2. For IAA 24-3, the board voted to grant the appeal by a vote of 7-0. For item 9, sorry, the other one's 8C, excuse me. Yeah, for item 8C, sorry. The board took no action. Okay. For item 10A, the board will receive an update from the Gateway Board Subcommittee. Since it's late and we did not meet, I'm happy to say as subcommittee chair, we have no report. So we will go past that. For item 10B, the board will receive an update from the Board Policy Subcommittee. And I can report that the Board Policy Subcommittee met and reviewed the attorney policy. I wrote down the number somewhere, but I don't have it here. And we approved some proposed changes and we sent it forward for first reading for the next meeting, I believe. And then we're still reviewing the closed session item.
I
board
have
policy.
yet to see that draft.
Oh, I emailed it. No? Don't have it? Okay, we'll make sure it gets sent if it didn't go. Yes.
Somebody needs to send it, that's all.
Yeah, Gina modified it for us. We approved it. So I thought I forwarded it, but I will do it again. Okay. For item 10C, the board will receive an update from the Legislative Subcommittee. Legislative Subcommittee met and we reviewed a few different bills that are pending, one of which was AB 2222, which is no longer moving forward, and a couple other things that we're still watching. So nothing to bring forward to the board at this time. And the next item is item 10D. The board will discuss topics for future board agendas. Would any board members like to discuss any agenda items? Seeing none, there's no action to take on this item. And then item 10D, board members will comment.
May I jump in with one quick one? Because I also neglected to wish a happy birthday to board member Torres, whose birthday is on April 25th, I believe. And you will make it there, yes. And then on April 30th is Lisa Cho's birthday. So happy birthday to you both. And I'm sorry I missed it in my comments.
Yeah, I also say happy birthday to Superintendent McGee. We're almost birthday twins, so on April 29th. So happy birthday to you as well. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have comments? Mr. Limpert? No comments. Mr. Cannon? Okay. Ms. Alvaro?
Just a very brief one, just because I want it to be timely. A young man who graduated last year from Half Moon Bay High School was honored by Governor Newsom and all of the local fire agencies in the Bay Area as a hero 3 days ago, because his name is Luke Polenchek, because he became a lifeguard, and on March 17th, he rescued a 12-year-old boy who was skimboarding and lost control. And the boy's dad, who went in after him and lost control, and Luke rescued them both and saved their lives. And real proud of him as a Half Moon Bay graduate.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay, Trustee Camacho?
Nothing to report.
Okay, Torres?
No comment.
Trustee Gerard?
I have one.
Okay.
And I just have one, and I will be attending the Gateway Design Committee meeting tomorrow at noon. Am I right? Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, and I just, thank you to Lisa Cho for wishing Superintendent McGee happy birthday on April 29th. That was also on my list. And I will not be able to attend the Gateway meeting tomorrow because I have a conflict. So, and I don't have any other comments. Okay. So item 11 is our adjournment. The board budget and LCAP study session special meeting will take place on Friday, April 26th, 2024 at 12 p.m. Next regular meeting will take place on Wednesday, May 1st, 2024 at 7 p.m. This meeting is adjourned. More.